What up, everybody? It's your boy Jay, and I am back with another comic chaser. So I hope you're ready for another shot of pop culture. All right. So we have a pretty hefty week this week, so we're gonna try and keep the reviews a little bit more snappy. But of course, I am gonna tangent, uh, as per usual. Blanket spoiler warning for all the books that I'm covering on my pull list in this video this week. And don't forget to tell me what you guys picked up this week in the comments down below, and leave a like on the video. And if you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and turn that bell on for notifications. All right, so we're gonna do this just kind of in order. We're gonna build up to my book of the week as per usual. So first up, we've got Powerman Timeless. This is done by Lansing and Kelly. On writing, with Bernard Chang on art. I love Bernard Chang's artwork. This book looks fantastic. Uh, the basic pitch, the log line that sold me on this miniseries is this is a Luke Cage with the powers of the Hulk, the Sentry, and the Iron Fist on top of his Luke Cage powers. It sounds super broken. I want to know the whole backstory behind this. We already get bits and pieces that have me really intrigued, but I have to admit this moved really slow. I get it; it's a first issue. You got to establish all the big lore in the beginning, but man, there was a point in this issue where I was like, "Oh, it's over. This is a natural stop point," and I was like, "Oh, it's still going." That's weird, but still solid. I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna keep going with this series as it comes out, and we'll see if it improves as time goes on. But this was just alright. But we do have a lot of Luke Cage to talk about today. But speaking of somebody that's popped up everywhere this month, we have Scarlet Witch issue number 9, Steve Orlando, with art by Jacopo Camagni. I really did probably mispronounce that name. As you can see on this cover, which I love the cover, by the way, Black Cat is attempting to break into Wanda's vault of magical items. This is a lot of fun. I like this a lot because I've had this thought ever since, Black Cat got the surgery to get the luck manipulation powers. I was like, Wanda's chaos magic is all about probability manipulation. And that's basically what luck powers are, right? That's how Domino explains it. So what would happen if Felicia clashes with Wanda? Some wild shit. I was going to say chaos, but that's way too easy of a pun. It's really fun. We get to see Amaranth, try to shine here. Learning more about her powers, figuring out more of what she can do. She has some kind of a penance there, but she did, or at least a penance there ability where she gazes at somebody with either negative emotion or something, and it badly affects them, drives them mad. She mentioned that's what happened to her adopted dad, so we get a little bit more clues into what Amaranth can do, which is pretty interesting. And overall, it ends on one hell of a cliffhanger, with Amaranth getting herself into trouble by getting tempted by a very powerful magic item. And shit's going crazy. I had a lot of fun with this, man. Like I said, I just really enjoyed this series. I usually say with this series, the stakes aren't high, but I'm here for all the character interactions. But the stakes are high right now. Holy shit, this is kind of crazy. And I love, getting a look into this possibility that I've wondered about in the back of my mind for years. What happens when Felicia clashes with Wanda? And I need more interactions with these two. Their banter is great. Or at least Steve Orlando writes their banter really well. Of course, he has a strong voice for Wanda, but his Felicia is great, too. Absolutely fantastic. Enjoyed this book a lot. Now, this is cheating because this book technically came out last week, but I decided to pick it up anyway. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by Jason Aaron, with art by Juan Ferreira, or Ferreira. This book is one that I've been looking forward to ever since it was announced. I have not collected the individual miniseries or like the individual issues that focus on each turtle separate story that make up like the first 5 issues. I'm gonna pick those up later, but technically, since those were all just kind of individual setup issues, this is this is a good jumping on point. And I will say, this is a very good jumping on point for Turtles. I have been reading the IDW books, so I'm familiar with what's going on. But you could jump into this completely blind, only knowing about stuff from the various cartoons or even the original comics and stuff. And you'd pretty much be able to get it essentially through a bunch of circumstances from the previous run. Kurai has fully taken over New York City. The Foot are in control. The Turtles are run out of their home. They have to flee to Jersey. That's how bad it gets. They go all the way to fucking Newark. You know it's bad when you gotta go to Jersey. It's every New Yorker's worst nightmare. I become one of those. I sell out and go to Jersey. Let's see. We'll see how the Turtles react. I love the drama in this, man. I gotta say, I'm surprised that Mikey is so combative with Raph. The back and forth between these two, it's interesting. I like that just because, the brothers have gotten back together, doesn't mean they're gonna instantly be like hug and I miss you, bro. Like there's gonna be some growing pains, especially because they each had to uproot their lives, especially Mikey, who was actually doing really well for himself in Japan. So, he's definitely angry and bitter about that. And I will admit he's acting like a little baby and is being egotistical, but, you also got to see it from his perspective, Raph. And poor Donnie, man. Why they got to do that to my boy? I mean, Donnie's not my favorite turtle. Raph is my favorite turtle. But, Donnie, man, it's so sad, dude. He's got this. Okay, I guess I will give a spoiler for the IDW run because it won't make any sense otherwise. So if you have not read the IDW run, this is a spoiler. Go ahead and skip maybe like a minute ahead or so. All right, so Donnie's talking to this dead rat, and it's on his shoulder, and he believes this dead rat is being possessed by the ghost of their dead father, Master Splinter, aka Hamato Yoshi. And it's just sad, and I feel so terrible. And Mikey keeps wanting to tell Donnie, but everybody's like, "Shh, no, stop. We don't want Donnie to lose his shit. Come on." But by the end, they get the shit kicked out of him, and you hear this narration from Splinter's ghost, that he's praying for his sons, and Donnie has that realization: you guys, Splinter's dead. And oh man, this is gonna be heavy. We are off to one hell of a start. I did skip some parts of the plot as well. Casey is in a coma, it seems like. And while he's out of action, it looks like April might be taking up the hockey mask and screaming Goonkala. We'll find out next time on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because I definitely added this to my pull list. This is great. Jason Aaron did a fantastic job, and Juan Ferrer's art is beautiful. There's a one shot with where a smoke bomb goes off and they're silhouetted. Oh my god, the colors are so great. This feels good. As a big Turtle fan, I'm so happy I got to pick this up. All right, moving on. We have Ultimate issue number 9, the origin of Ultimate Luke Cage. I want to say this is Dennis Camp, and I don't know who the art is by. Maybe I'm just a dum-dum. I apologize. But anyway, this is the origin of Ultimate Luke Cage, and this book is great. I enjoyed this a lot. Now, a certain sect of people probably will not enjoy this because they'll, cry woke and talk about how, this is all just being preachy about the prison industrial complex, and these aren't problems that actually exist. They're over exaggerating or whatever bullshit these dumbass red pillars say nowadays. Uh, but this was really cool. Luke Cage, like, working from the inside to liberate people from, like, you know, essentially maker controlled prisons is dope as fuck. And we know that, like, the maker system is unjust. So, like, there are definitely some innocent people in here. Speaking of our boy Danny Rand, we got to see the Ultimate Universe version of Danny Rand. Now, we know that Bruce Banner, the Hulk, has the Iron Fist, but hey, man, if we defeat the Hulk, shove your hand into his chest, Danny. Maybe you could get that power. I miss you, Danny. I want Danny Rand back as Iron Fist, dude. Like, no disrespect to Lin Lee, you're great in Marvel Rivals, but, like, I miss my boy Danny Rand. Like, reading this just made me want Danny back in the books. Alright, so moving on. We're gonna go ahead and talk about Absolute Superman. Alright, so Jason Aaron, we're back with Absolute Superman, and I'm excited to talk about this. Issue 3 really sold me on the series, and issue 4 just continues that momentum. We got to see Lois Lane, or Agent Lane, on the hunt for Superman. And she is, like, interrogating all the people that he saved and made contact with and trying to track him down. And these people will not budge. They are not giving up Superman. Not only did he save them, but, like, he does what Superman does best. He inspired them. He gave them hope. The only thing that I'm afraid of is that they're gonna lean into, like, the Superman is Jesus trope, which Man of Steel is, like, very famous for, like, fucking around with, and I've never agreed with that. I mean, Superman is literally Moses, not Jesus. He gets adopted into another world by getting sent off in a basket, in this case a rocket. Come on, it's right there, dude. It's right there. But yeah, overall, really good. I don't want to talk too much about the plot, because, like, a lot of big stuff happens, and we get a lot of like, interesting world building. Like, for example, we get to meet the Omega Men that we've heard about in the background, and one of them happens to be Jimmy Olsen, who keeps trying to, like, convince Agent Lane to switch sides, and I'm sure eventually she will, because, she's going to eventually see the truth and realize that Lazarus is corrupt, and that Brainiac AI is really fucking with things. And we also meet, but don't actually get to see the face of, Jimmy's commanding officer, Primus, who I believe is Amanda Waller, and I believe she is the one who, like, injured this version of Sam Lane by cutting off his legs. She's either Amanda Waller or Natalia Irons. Just my guesses, but we'll see. Overall, this was a really fun, really great action-packed book. It took us a while to actually see Superman in this Superman book, but honestly, these other characters are so interesting, I didn't even really notice it until, like, I finished the book and I was like, wow, there were really only, like, maybe 4 or 5 pages of Superman in this whole issue. That's crazy. Alright. Now we're going to talk about my pick of the week. Personally, for me, goes to Batman, issue number 57. Chip Zdarsky, Tony S. Daniel, The Fate of Gotham City finale. Commander Star versus Batman, which is just reskinned KG Beast versus Batman. This felt like the climax of a Bond movie, dude. Like, it was so fast paced. I, like, flew through it, but, like, I was hooked every second. The moments with Nigma and Gordon, just trapped in the building, and Nigma talking his shit. Like, you really think this is gonna make any difference, Gordon? And like, I love Gordon's response to Nigma's taunting. He goes, "I'm not a good man, Nigma. I know that, but I'm trying my best." Which really, that totally sums up Jim Gordon's character just in one quote. "I'm not a good man, but I'm trying my best." But you are a good man, Jim. I personally believe that. And I don't know, this issue really feels like we're about to just finally get back to basics with Batman. Uh, just especially with that hopeful note they ended on, like, "Jim, you and I are gonna solve this together, and we're finally gonna restore the status quo of and get rid of Vandal Savage as police commissioner, because that's always been a little weird." Like, don't get me wrong, I do want to see new innovative Batman stories, but I also want to see, like, some familiar stuff to get a nice balance. Uh, and also, come on, man, DC. It's been years. Where is Alfred? Can you please bring back Alfred? I miss Alfred so much, man. Uh, like, sure, we had Leslie in this issue, and Leslie's great. Don't get me wrong, but if I just kept thinking in my head, if Alfred was in this, oh, this would hit so much better. I mean, granted, like, the whole thing is about, like, Bruce's supposed brother, which he doesn't really care. Apparently, like, he's not his brother. Like, Leslie told him the DNA results, but he didn't care regardless. So it didn't even really matter. I don't think anybody reading the story actually gave a fuck about that plot line, so I'm glad Chip just answered it in one and just threw it off to the side. Cool. Uh, we're gonna end Chip's run, it seems, by taking down the Court of Owls again. But if this book is any indication of how they're gonna do it, I'm excited. Or is issue 58 the start of Hush 2? I don't know. If it is the start of Hush 2, that kind of sucks, but this was a great, just bombastic climax to this arc. Chip Zdarsky, if this really is the end of your run, you did fantastic. I kind of fell off a little bit toward in the middle there, but you brought me back once once Nakano died. That's when I got really, really, like, back invested in this story. But Batman has been great for the past couple months, so, like, I'm super happy as a huge Batman fan, obviously. And yeah, that's pretty much it for my pull list this week, guys. Like I said, it was a medium-sized week. Like, not super heavy, but not, like, crazy light like last week where I had, like, 2 books to talk about. But yeah, let me know what you guys picked up this week in the comments down below, and let me know all your thoughts on these comics in those comments as well. Don't forget to leave this video a like, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you get notifications every time we upload a new video. That could be a new comic chaser, a new episode of the Channel Treasures podcast, or any of our other random reviews and videos you might see popping up in the wild later at certain points. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, hint, hint. But with that being said, I have to go. So I hope you've enjoyed this latest shot of pop culture. I'm glad I was able to serve you, your comic chaser. Until next time, peace.